Hey guys, I'm Angela and welcome back to Hobby Night. This week, the Tau are getting a brand new codex in 2022. ToyJoy has some Chaos Marines that I am very hyped about and I might actually pick these ones up. Plus, we've got a couple of Warhammer themed video games that are getting some updates and we need to talk about them. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this week's hobby news. Let's start by talking about the new Tau Codex that was revealed to us earlier this week on Warhammer community site. We now know what the cover is going to look like, and we know it's coming in early 2022. Now, we already are aware that the Genestealer Cult Codex, as well as the Talons of the Emperor, are also coming out in early 2022, and I'm expecting them to arrive mid to late January is my expectation, so I don't actually think we're going to see this Tau Codex until maybe late February or early March, which is a little bit of a bummer because I feel like they are in desperate need of an update. However, at least we now know that it's coming, and we've even gotten to see a little bit of a preview of what's coming in it. And honestly, taking a look at it, the new Tactical Philosophies, I'm not 100% sure that I think they're the best thing. I especially am a little bit confused by the Mont'ka tactical philosophy, which is the killing blow. This is all about actually moving the Tau forward, being able to advance without basically advance without penalty, and you end up wanting to get as close to your target as possible within battle round 1, 2, and 3, which just seems very antithesis to everything I've ever heard about Tau. So if you are a Tau player, please tell me down below whether or not you think you're actually going to be using this philosophy, because I don't know, it just doesn't seem like it quite fits. Like, I don't think it's bad inherently, I just don't think it quite fits thematically the Tau. Whereas the Kauyon, which I think is the Patient Hunter, I probably completely mispronounced that, so I do apologize, does actually seem more in line with the Tau. However, you can't actually start to use it until battle rounds 3, 4, and 5, so you are basically playing with like no added benefits overall to your faction in rounds 1 and 2 with this philosophy. So again, it just seems a little bit odd, especially when you compare it to, say, what the Death Guard get as an overall ability for their army, which only increases as the game goes on and is always beneficial to you as the player, where some of the stuff in the Tau philosophies don't feel that way. So it just makes me slightly concerned for what else we're going to be getting in this codex, but I'm hopeful that maybe it's just my not understanding exactly how Tau is meant to be played, because I've never played them, and up until very recently, I've actually never fought anybody that played them either. So maybe I'm just confused on what these are actually going to be the most beneficial for in regards to the Tau. But we didn't just learn about some new philosophies, we also got revealed a brand new model, which has me a lot more hyped because I actually think it looks pretty cool. We are getting Darkstrider, which honestly is a really cool stealthy looking model. He has a adorable little familiar named Shade, which is one of his drones that seems pretty powerful, and his ability, Structural and Analyzer, does seem pretty potent. What it does is during your command phase, you select a friendly Tau Sept core unit that's within 6 inches of Darkstrider and one visible enemy unit that is visible to Darkstrider. That unit, then until the end of the turn, that core unit can target that visible unit and gets a +1 on attack wound rolls for that when basically firing at them, which is pretty good. Like, it's powerful, but again, I feel like that keeps you at a distance. So the philosophies still really confuse me because they really seem like they want you to get close. That just doesn't seem what Tau is meant to do. Let me know what your thoughts are on it down below. All right, let's talk about Chaos, my favorite thing, because ToyJoy has done me a solid and they're coming out with a couple of Chaos action figures, and frankly, you guys, I love all of them. I love every single one of them, and I kind of want them, and I actually think ToyJoy as a total like company and the other figures that they produce are really cool. You should absolutely check them out, especially if you like mechs and just like robots and stuff, because they have a lot of them. But let's talk about our Chaos lads, because we're getting 2 different Chaos Marines. Both have lovely helmets, and I think they are absolutely top. But the figures that excite me the most are our big chonky boys, the Terminators, because my gosh, do I love me some gosh darn Terminators. I don't care what faction they come from, I love Terminators, you guys. My personal collection has so many of them in it. It's insane. But the thing that I actually really like about these particular toys that ToyJoy is coming out with when it comes to the Terminators is the fact that their helmeted versions all have individual unique tusk styles, and I just think that's a really nice touch. It adds a little bit of variety, it makes it so that they don't feel one-to-one, and it doesn't take a lot of extra effort for the artist, and it's a really, really incredible inclusion on this particular figure set. I know that the Space Marines have that a little bit, but because they are a little bit more like uniform, because they're Space Marines, it's nice to see this variation in the Chaos figures. We are also getting one other Chaos figure though, and that is Chaos Lord Khalos the Ravanger, which you might be looking and going, he seems a little bit familiar. Well, that's because he's actually based off the current Chaos Lord model that you can buy on the Games Workshop web store. So if you really like that model and you want a large scale representation of him, this is your opportunity to get it. Not only are we getting Chaos, but most importantly are we getting Chaos, but we are also getting a little bit more of a preview of some of the Space Wolves that are coming out. Now, I will admit, for the Intercessors that they have coming for the Space Wolves, I actually really like their unhelmeted figureheads because one of the guys just has like this massive cowlick, and it tickles me so much. I think it's really, really cool looking. But the thing that I think is more cool is the Invictor Warsuit that they are also getting, because I think the Ultramarines are also getting a version of this as well. The Space Wolf one looks just as cool. It also comes with a figure of a rider that can be taken out of it, so you can have the suit by itself with the figure standing next to it, or he can be within the suit. It's just all around very, very cool, and I would highly recommend, like I said, if you like robot toys, ToyJoy definitely seems like a great company to check out.
Beyond Reichland, Ostermark, and the reach of the Empire stands a frozen bulwark. Kislev, a fractured kingdom besieged from within and without by enemies of ideology and chaos. Tsarina Katerin, daughter of Tsar Boris the Beloved, rules from the peaks of the Boka Palace in the city of Kislev. The Ice Queen must lean heavily on her ice court if she means to bring order and security to these turbulent lands.
You guys know how I'm a huge Total War Warhammer fan? Well, recently we did get another preview for Slaanesh, which was great, but the thing that I want to talk about that came out this week was actually a preview of the campaign map in the game, and frankly, I think it looks really cool. Now, I feel like it was a little bit disjointed because we didn't get to see like the full map or anything. They only showed us a few key sections of the map, but overall the aesthetic of it is looking amazing. I liked, and I don't know if these are going to have like any like play in the game, but I liked that on the map in the preview they showed a couple of hero characters, I believe, just walking around the borders, especially during the Kislev section, but really throughout the entire area. And I don't know if that's something that's going to be happening just in general along your borders, or if that was just added in for the benefit of this preview of the map, but I really thought it was a cool touch. All of the regions we're going to look distinctly different, they seem correctly varied, and they also seem like they're aesthetically fitting the peoples that are living in those areas. The Cathay area in particular was gorgeous. It's one of the factions that I'm like the least interested in playing, but at least the portion of the map that's there is really, really cool, so I can't wait to go in with my demon forces and conquer it. Next up, we're going to talk about BattleSector, which is a game that I've briefly played on the channel because I really like tactical games and I really like 40k games, and this was both. But the reason we're talking about it now is because we've got 2 new DLCs coming in 2022, and one of them is a paid for one, but it's very, very exciting because it's an entire faction being added to the game. That's right, we're getting Necrons. And as you know, I am a huge Necron fan. I really, really like those little robot boys, and I'm very excited for this and will probably be picking it up because BattleSector is something that I'd like to go back to on the channel in 2022 myself, because a Let's Plays are something that I definitely want to add in. So you're getting the Necron DLC. It's going to cost a little bit, but we haven't been told exactly how much. It is coming in early 2022, and it's going to include 14 new units that are going to have unique gameplay mechanics because, of course, it's going going to be themed to Necrons. I think even there's going to be Necron protocols in there and all of that kind of stuff, which is really, really cool. Now, if you aren't necessarily wanting to buy the Necron campaign and be able to play that for yourself, maybe you want to see how they play, well, you can do that too, because there's going to be a free DLC that you can get with a brand new campaign mode that is all about conquest. And within it, if you have just the standard game, you can of course play as the Space Marines or the Tyranids, but you'll go up against the Necrons. So you can actually see how their gameplay mechanics are going to work out and decide after that whether or not you want to pick up the actual paid for DLC that gets you all of those good robot boys to play with. I'm actually really excited for this. I'm probably going to be getting both. I'll definitely be picking up the Necrons. Like I said, I just love them. And anytime they're in a game now, I just am like, yes, I'm going to support this so that we get more diversity in our games for what the Space Marines are fighting. And I also like the fact that you can actually like use them against the NIDS, which I feel like doesn't get talked about very often, but absolutely should, because, you know, they're the NIDS and they're going to destroy everything, and everybody should work together to get rid of them. And that is what I'm hoping my goal is in this game, because I just want to destroy all of those creepy little horde monsters. They're so good. But I'm really excited for this. Let me know how you're feeling about it down below. And last but not least, we've got some board game news, because Asmodee has been sold. In fact, they've been sold to a brand new company. That's not a brand new company. They've been sold to a company called Embracer Group, formerly THQ Nordic, which is a large European video game publisher. And this is very interesting to me because not only is, you know, THQ Nordic part of this, this also includes, like, this company also includes Gearbox, so Borderlands, as well as Saber Interactive, which is making the new Space Marine 2 game. And since this is a video game publishing company, I find it interesting that Asmodee was picked up by them. Now, I know that Asmodee as a games company, as a board game company, has been looking to dive into the digital space, bringing a lot of their board games to the digital market, which is what I expect is probably going to be Embracer Group's plan for them as well. But this is really big. Like, that's getting them into a really big bucket with a bunch of other companies, and I'm very curious to see what this actually means for the tabletop division of the game, if that's going to be, or of the games industry, if that's going to be affected at all. I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye on this news and finding out more as more continues to come out. All right, that has been it for this week in hobby news. Now, as I said in my claptrap painting video earlier this week, there is only going to be a vlog this coming week because it's the holiday season and we're going to take a little bit of downtime to enjoy the holidays together, because this is actually the first time Chaos and Cultus and I have actually had a holiday season off together in over 10 years, because normally I've been working retail and I've had to, you know, be in for that. But this year, not this year, because of you guys and especially my patrons, I'm able to take this full time, and now I don't actually have to work Black Friday, which is fantastic. I'm not gonna have to work after Christmas. Like, oh my God, I'm so excited. Anyways, I wanted to give a huge thank you to my patrons for supporting me and allowing content like this to continue to be made. You guys are awesome, and thank you so much for being there. If you guys want to join them and get some additional perks, be able to talk with me a little bit more, we're gonna have a Discord channel coming soon, so you can be looking forward to that. You can find a link to my Patreon down below and see what benefits you get. In the meantime, I have been Angela, you have been watching Hobby Night, and I will see you guys after the holiday with some brand new hobby content. Bye!
Woo!